We started changing up on y'all. We got a little intro now and we come on the show. You know how it go. You know, we don't want no problems now. We don't want no late afternoons or Saturday morning, evening times going on without this intro going. So I'm Brian Bacchus. You're not. This is
Jamal Smith here at Altadena Talks. Thank you again for showing up for our 43rd episode. 43.
35th.
43rd. Can you believe that?
Right. I think that was Corey Blunt's lumber from the Lakers.
Oh, yes.
43.
And yesterday was James Worthy's number from the
Lakers. And Jackie Robinson.
And Jackie Robinson's, absolutely. Taking it to baseball. I'll let you got a nice little intro for us today. Let's see what we got going. What's happening today, Brian Bacchus?
We're going to find out. I know. Here's a story of a Dan Brady. We're just having fun bringing you guys this information. We're trying to jazz the show up a little bit. And we got some little intros. We're going to have some guest intros and stuff. We're starting to announce who's going to be on the show the day before, starting next week. So we got a kind of a scheduled packed thing. And next week, we're going to focus on where this money that these foundations and wildfires and all this is going. You know, I can thank Connie Bass, who is always sending me emails. Nice shout out, who has always given me information, and she's always following the money. So keep up the good work. Keep sending me those emails. I'm going to keep spitting the information. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Jamal, and he's going to start the announcements.
Okay. Let me do that really. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now. All right, cool. All right, we're going to start with the critical dates. The three that are still remaining: FEMA, Small Business Administration, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. This is for the right of entry forms for you to opt in to have them go ahead and remove, the debris, the phase 2 from your lot. The deadline for each of these three events or services is the 31st of March. And you can scan the QR code down there to go ahead and get it. Bless you, honey. Altadena community meeting. There is going to be the regular meeting. Every Monday they have these, but here's the latest flyer. So Monday, March 17th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. You get the latest information on recovery resources for the Altadena community. You can actually submit your questions in advance by scanning the QR code right below. Or if you go to their bit.ly link, it's bit.ly/43 G is in George, Q is in Quasar, J is in Jack. These are all capital, then lowercase n is in Nancy, and then capital W as in West. And the place you would go to actually watch this meeting is youtube.com at County of Los Angeles Newsroom. All right. So every Monday from 4 to 5, that's where you go. And you can actually go there now and click a link so you can be notified when it actually starts. That way you don't have to keep, checking your watches. You'll get an alert. There's the disaster relief claim assistance every Wednesday from 9 to 1 and Fridays from 1 to 5 at Jackie Robinson Community Center, 1020 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Pasadena. And I'm not sure if it was this one or one of the other services where we're definitely going to check to find out when it's going to stop, because we know it's not going to go on indefinitely. But we'll find that out and let you guys know. It might have been this one, the Disaster Recovery Center. The one closest to us is 540 West Woodbury Road in Altadena, and they're open from 9 to 7 days a week. And, it's a great place to go get the information. If you want additional info, you can go to recovery.lacounty.gov. Right next door, or pretty close to this, to the Recovery Center, is the one-stop shop permit center. This is now at 464 West Woodbury Road. Suite 210 in Altadena. They're open from 9:30 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. I'll leave this up here because I have a feeling they're going to continue to have the sandbags. Although we're on the back end of the storms, I don't think we have any issues with storms now. Probably won't need the sandbags, but in the future, I have a feeling these are going to be available again. So I'll keep it here for you to see. You can go to Robinson's Park, 1081 North Fair Oaks, Victory Park, 2575 Paloma Street, Fire Station 37 at 3430 East Foothill Boulevard, or Fire Station 38 at 1150 Linda Vista Ave, all open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And again, it's while supplies last. Hey, y'all. I posted this yesterday, and the Pasadena Rental Housing Board convened, and they came up with a few points from the meeting. They recognized a few points that came up. They're going to have temporarily prevent evictions of tenants who accommodate these individuals or animals. So it's people who are displaced. If someone is actually helping them out, they cannot be evicted because they're helping out people who are displaced along with their animals. The measure ensures that those tenants offering such assistance are not penalized during the recovery period. One of the other bullet points that was a result of that meeting was they're aiming to prevent unjustified increases that could further burden affected tenants. Then this is increases in their rent. They're also coordinating an effort to coordinating housing solutions, ensuring that displaced individuals receive the support that they need promptly. And lastly, they're developing long-term strategies to enhance the city's resilience to similar emergencies, focusing on housing stability and tenant protection. If you want to get all more details about this, go to cityofpasadena.net and look up the Pasadena Rental Housing Board. There'll be a link to this recent meeting. You can get many more details. We had mentioned earlier in the week that Loma Alta Park had actually gotten some funding from the relief effort where they had the big bands and everything, and they raised money. They got $2.4 million for the recovery of Victory Park. I'm sorry, Loma Alta Park. And this is an opportunity for you to volunteer for both Earth Day as well as the reopening of Loma Alta Park. If you volunteer, you can actually help plant trees, help landscape. You can help paint murals and the sidewalks and much more. So, with your help, Loma Alta Park will be the first public park to reopen for the Altadena community after the fires. They're asking you to bring your tools and brushes and wear comfortable shoes. This is going to happen every Saturday in April from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And you would register by scanning the QR code or by going to bit.ly/3 capital Q, lowercase l, lowercase s as in Sam, lowercase y, lowercase x, and then capital K. Should be fun. There's a Eaton Fire and for more informational meeting. There's going to be Southern California wildfire attorneys representing Eaton Fire survivors. They're asking that you join them to learn about fire surviving legal rights, fire survivors, legal rights and damages, responsible parties, basically who pays. You can learn about insurance and assistance. There's Q&A, how to pursue claims for homeowners, renters, and evacuees. And there'll be experts in maximizing recovery. This is going to be um, Saturday, one at 11 and one at 2 p.m. It's going to be at the Westin in Pasadena. There was one on the 12th, on Wednesday of this week. So this will be the second day. You can register scanning the QR code, or you can visit Bridge for Bridford Law. That's BRID as in David, G as in George, FORD as in David, law.com, or you can call 888-56 BGA Fires. All right. Also, Fair Oaks burger schedule for this week. On Wednesdays, they had cheeseburgers. Today, they have chicken burritos from 11 to 3. And tomorrow, they're going to have pancakes and breakfast burritos, as well as a farmer's market from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think, B, you're going to check out them pancakes. That actually sounds pretty good. I think I might have to do that too. And here's one that we had before. It was all for February, and I just found a post earlier today indicating that Dina Relief Drive at Pasadena Church at 425 Sierra Madre Villa Avenue in Pasadena has extended their Dina Relief support to be basically every Saturday until further notice, which is amazing. You can actually come and get supplies such as water, food, clothing, toiletries, pillows, blankets, and diapers. And it only has happened, according to them, because of the support that they've received with volunteers and generous donors. And if you know families or individuals who need the products of any kind, please direct them to that location. And also, they do need volunteers. So if you're interested in providing your time, go ahead and scan that QR code, and you can actually register for that. It's nice to have them offering this service again. So again, every Saturday until we say otherwise, or they say otherwise. So every Tuesday, starting this past Tuesday until April 1st, uh, Taco Bell is going to be having free tacos. It's going to be at Food for Less at 1329 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. And that's going to be, again, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's right, Corey. They are good. There's going to be an insurance support workshop for LA residents affected by the recent fires to ensure you understand your insurance policies and are aware of the resources available during the rebuilding and recovery process. Is going to be Saturday, March 15th at John Muir High School. That's 1905 Lincoln Ave, Pasadena. To reserve a one on one appointment, you would actually call 1 800 927 4357. Here's some fun. Project Passion and Neighborhood Servants is putting on a backyard community backyard festival. You're invited to join us Saturday, March 15th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Harambe at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. There's going to be music, games, prizes, new shoes, resources, and many more items. Also on Saturday is the Black Family Wellness Expo. This is going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Jackie Robinson Community Center, 1020 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Pasadena. For registration info, send an email to B as in boy, F as in Frank, wellness 91109 at gmail.com. You can get free health screenings. There'll be free Colgate dental screenings, snacks, workshops, and resources. And again, community resources. So you get to double up on those resources as we referenced yesterday. There's Eden Fire relief effort. So you get to come pick up home packages and fresh produce put on by Operation Blessings, Third Wave Volunteers, and Science of Spirituality. This again is Saturday, March 15th, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Uh-oh.
I did that on purpose.
Duality Center, 920 North Summit Avenue in Pasadena. You do have to pre-register by scanning the QR code uh, before coming.
So don't come without scanning the QR code.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to turn you away, but hey, let's not take any chances, right? I had this one. I'm putting it up here because it's on the 16th. It's the Monday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's the house party at the park, put on by our frequent contributor, Chris Lewis from Monrovia, M-Town. It's going to be at Bandshell at the Library Park at 321 South Myrtle Avenue in Monrovia. It's going to be music, friends, and family. 3 DJs, Big Ricky, Big Mace 3000, and DJ Roy Mix. There will be some awards, the M-Town Awards at 3 p.m., honoring a few of the community's finest. Again, this Sunday, I think it's going to be dry, so it might be a good event to just go have some fun and take your mind off the craziness that we're dealing with. Again, there's a community meeting regarding property tax relief for fire victims. This is this coming Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Also at the Jackie Robinson Community Center. Again, 1020 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Pasadena. The Wildfire Recovery and Rebuild Conference will be at the Hilton Pasadena at 168 South Los Robles Avenue. Not this Saturday, it'll be Saturday, March 29th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can get opt-in assistance, banking and mortgage information, property taxes and assessment info, insurance info, legal consideration, and you get to engage in the process of engaging with an architect and contractor. You can register at the QR code below if we remove the banner, or you can just go to lasentinel.net where you can actually register there. Also, you have the ability to meet with First Choice Design and Development to start your rebuild. This will be Saturday, March 29th uh, at 87 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. It's going to be from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. You get answers on planning, permitting, WUI compliance, and more. You sign up at the event and receive their Rebuild Our Neighborhood Builders bundle, including a 5K watt solar system. Our friends at Union Station Homeless Services again have a service where you can come pick up some kits from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can get kits with hygiene products. You can get new bedding, towels and clothing, full size body wash and bars of soap, shampoo and conditioners. Regarding food, you can get shelf stable food, sack lunches and snacks, baby diapers, wipes, and formulas, and assorted gift cards. This is at 412 South Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. Again, Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And for more information, send an email to eatonfire@ushs.org. You can also get 6 regular loads for free done at brought to you by Laundry Love, but this is actually at Fair Oaks Laundry at 1344 Fair Oaks Avenue in Pasadena. That again is from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And to register, you can get the bit.ly link right there, bit.ly/40, capital R, capital B is in boy, lowercase v is in Victor, capital L, and the number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9, World Central Kitchen, serving hot meals in key locations and a portable water station supporting bi-weekly farmers markets. I had a link for separate specific farmers markets. Oh, I think I did that for Fair Oaks Burger. But the 2 locations close to us are Sierra Madre YMCA at 611 East Sierra Madre Boulevard in Sierra Madre, and Gordy's Garage Parking Lot at 843 West Woodbury Road in Altadena. Um, Both locations are open from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then again from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And lastly, this is, completely unrelated to the fire. Brian actually shared this with me, and it's pretty cute. And I thought it would be very helpful and maybe fun, something you guys might be interested in. It's a book, new book coming out or that came out. It's called Brave Belief for Little Black Girls. It's available now. And I'm just going to read the caption that was from the author, Tracy Anderson's Facebook page. It says, "This isn't just a book, it's a love letter, a mirror, and a sacred reminder to every little black girl, a little black girl still alive inside every black woman. This book speaks power, affirmation, and truth. It's the words we needed to hear as little black girls. It's the words our daughters, nieces, and godbabies need to hear right now. It's the brave belief, truth, and knowing that Black girls are brilliant, beautiful, and boundless. This is the book that sits on the nightstand, that's read in the classroom, that gets passed down through generations. If you ever whisper to a Black girl, baby, you are more than enough, you are more than you know, and this book is for you." And can't read the bottom part, but you can actually go to bravebelief.life. There you go. Get your copy today and gift one to a black girl you love. Let's make sure our girls never forget who they are. And again, you can go to bravebelief.life to actually get your copy, and you can read more about the artist. And Brian, I don't know if you know her directly or if you had any
I do know her
additional
directly.
detail. Okay,
She's
good.
from Pasadena.
Oh, okay, that's
So
outstanding.
the reason why I wanted you to read this on here, Jamal, is because
Mhm.
I just wanted to give you your flowers, homeboy, because you got three beautiful daughters that you tell them this kind of stuff every day. And I'm
I
proud of you,
appreciate that.
bro. Proud of you for you're a great dad. And I wish there were
I
more
claim
dads
4.
out there like you. So,
I got 4, bro.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. I forgot. My
Yep.
bad.
But it's all good. No, no, no,
But,
no. I love.
yeah,
I know.
I mean, you're a great dad, though, period, no matter who you're a
Thank you.
dad to.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I received that, and to all the what do they call it, girl dads out there,
Mm,
man, big ups. You know, big ups. Marcus, definitely. You know what I mean? Niecy with the, I mean, not just a girl or not just girl dad, but those folks that have daughters and
daughters,
like
period.
she said, nieces and cousins and god babies and everything. Yeah, we got to uplift all the black folks, but the girls in particular. I obviously have an affinity for them.
Yeah, because
Appreciate
they
that,
get
bro.
the short end of the stick, brother. We got to
I
keep the
appreciate
short
that.
end of the stick off the records.
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch the format. I mean the stage. Boom.
Bam! There you go. Corey said we'll be buying for my two grandbabies. Love them. Namia, I hope I said that right. And Kiani, Grandma Coco from Chattanooga loves you. My sons are girl dads doing hair, doing nails. LOL, love it.
That's right.
And
Hey
Mark,
Corey, my one of my daughter's name is Naima. So I thought that's what you had typed in there. And I was
yeah,
gonna
me
say, oh,
too. That's
yeah.
why I had to look at it real quick.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, and Marcus said, I second that. Jamal's a super girl dad. Well,
Thank you,
boy, you
Marcus.
getting your flowers today, brother.
I appreciate that. I
That's
received
right.
them. I received them. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
a
Thank you. Thank
special
you. Very
shout
much so.
out to Tracy Anderson, who is a Pasadena native who wrote the book. And
Yeah.
she's always been full of passion and she's always
Here,
been
I'll share
about
her
girl
page.
power and everything. So, we just trying to get anybody that's doing anything in Pasadena. Um, and there's the
Share her
website
page.
right there
Yep.
so that you can go there and order the book. That's
This is
Tracy
the about me
herself.
page, so it actually has her picture and kind of explains
Mm,
who she is and that kind of thing.
yeah. So we're always trying to get people to keep the economic dollars in town, and that's one good way of doing it. So,
We want to be more like Tulsa and
yeah, get
in the
that
Green
dollar
Avenue.
circulation in Altadena and Pasadena about 50 times, 50, 11 times, something like
Yeah.
that. Keep it
They
going
had it what 30 times before it left the
30
neighborhood.
times. But
It's
you
gonna
got to
be a
remember,
minute
that
before
was
we can get there.
1915. You know what I'm saying?
Or in the 20s, yeah.
That was the First World War going on.
We can get we can get it circulating multiple times once we get back and strong again. So that's gonna be awesome.
Oh, good. We said it right. We didn't want to make no
Yeah,
mistakes.
that's funny though. I saw the AH and everything. I just knew that was Naima. That's
I
pretty
know
cool.
that's why I had to go all the way to the end. I was like, huh? Somebody else got a name like that too?
Yeah.
Uniqueness in the mix.
And speaking of Naima, just shout out to her. She had her opening night for her play. She's been
When? Tonight?
um, last night was the opening night. We're actually going tonight, and I forward you the information. But she's been
Oh,
going all day at school, all the way through until 10 p.m. for the last 3 weeks in preparation for this. And whew, man, she said it was an amazing opening night. And she's as excited as she is, for each of the actual live, performances. She's gonna be very happy when it's over too.
what time
But
does it start?
7 o'clock.
Okay, I'm gonna be there.
I'll shoot you the link. I thought I had done it already. My bad. But I just want to give her a shout out. I'm really really proud because she actually puts forth, a ton of effort, gets good grades, and just works hard. You know,
She does.
big ups to her.
She be serious too about hers.
So yeah. So what we got going today, man?
I don't know.
Oh,
I was kind of waiting on
oh my, true indeed, true indeed.
waiting on the guest, the honor to pop up, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to call him on the phone. Like,
Yeah,
waiting
let's see
on
what's
you,
happening.
bro.
Well, here's one of those. Hey, TGI Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. I always enjoy these days just because it just symbolizes the end of the week. You get to kind of exhale, towards the end of the day, or at least know that you only got the rest of this day to move, at least work, and hopefully you get to relax a little bit on the weekend. Weeks for the color girls. It's awesome.
Oh, that's cool. Is that also that's the play you were going to is for one of your kids? I thought y'all was doing something for the church.
Oh,
That's
send us
why
some
you haven't
info
been
on that,
able to
Corey.
come on. Yeah, why you holding back? We like to make these kind of announcements, especially with our continued supportive engagement cast here making the comments. Yay, Lane, TGIL. Thank God it's Funyuns. Yeah, some people need to wash their feet. I'm messing with you. We're waiting on our special guest to come on. Everybody already knows who it is, because we already announced it in the thing. But I was going to give him a solid intro, but we're waiting on his technical difficulties to surpass us.
Right.
And then we'll be getting right into the real nitty gritty.
Look at that. Corey says she was in the play.
Oh, watch out. What was you playing? Which part you play? What'd she say? Oh, that was your TV.
Man, I can't believe it's so loud. Let me turn it down. I'll be
It's
right
not
back.
loud. It's barely up.
I know, but I'm still gonna turn it down. Hold on.
Okay. Wait, now I'm gonna shoot him that link again because that sounds like the sound of introduction. So I think Jamal's went to Stock Click Media Broadcast. So today we're honored to have a special guest with us, Charles Moten. With over 30 years of experience in construction and nearly 18 years as a building inspector, Charles brings a wealth of knowledge in building safety, compliance, and code enforcement. Currently serving as a building inspector for the city of Monterey Park, he has also lent his expertise to the cities of West Covina and Alhambra, as well as spending nearly a decade working for the county as both a building inspector and in code enforcement. His dedication to ensuring safe, well-structured communities has made him a respected figure in the industry. So join us as we dive into his journey, the evolution of building codes, and the challenges and opportunities in the field of inspection and enforcement. Welcome to the show, Mr. Moten.
How are we doing, everyone?
How you doing?
What's up,
You like
Charles?
the intro I gave you? The illustrious, the illuminating.
That's right. That was a great. Couldn't expect any more.
Magnanimous.
That was awesome.
Right.
That was awesome. Thanks so much. I'm very honored. Very honored.
What's good with you, man? How's everything?
Everything's good, guys. Everything's doing well. Appreciate both of you guys. You're doing a great thing for our community, and this is awesome. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much.
Hey, we appreciate you. I mean, coming on the show. We always like to bring people in and have some information that the viewers can understand and make decisions on. So
Absolutely.
It was crazy. What we said a little earlier when we were chatting, it's like I didn't even realize or put two and two together, given what you actually do for a living.
Right.
When Brian was telling me, I was like, wait a minute, is that really what he does? I was like, oh, dang, that's a good
Yeah.
thing. I must not have been listening correctly or something when you told
No,
me before. But man, we're so glad that you can come on
right.
today. Why don't you give us a little brief introduction and your connection to Altadena and then like how you were actually affected by the fires, if you don't mind.
Sure, no, not a problem. Definitely grew up in Altadena. Moved to Altadena when I was probably 5. I was probably around 1970, 72 or 3, around that time. Uh, Grew up in Altadena, been Altadena all my life, pretty much with my parents. Upper Altadena, stayed on Florida Drive, around that area. Then we moved up to Loma Alta Drive, top of Lake Loma Alta Drive. That's where my mother and dad's house reside. Me and my sister are at the house right. Well, she's there, but me and her both own the house right now.
Okay.
So definitely, throughout the years, elementary, uh, junior high school, and high school, John Muir, alumni, like we all are, 85.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just I always thought our community was a tight kept community, and we definitely keep in touch with each other, not on a daily basis, but we always keep in touch with each other. So we always do, know what's going on with each other. But yeah, that's life, we all grew up in Altadena, so we know what it's like to be in Altadena. So
Sure.
definitely I believe it's our community. And it's definitely a devastation that happened. Fortunately, with my mom and dad's house, the building didn't burn down per se, but the windows and a lot of it was a lot of exterior damage. Plus, it got vandalized. So
Oh,
unfortunately,
really?
yeah, it got vandalized. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So
Damn.
yeah, so that's what we're doing dealing with the insurance right now. So we're in the early phase right now as far as getting cleaned up, but we're not in the phases as as you go down Lake and Fair Oaks and things like that. They're a little further along than we are.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
how's that process coming along? I mean, not to delve, too much into your personal stuff, but I
Oh
mean,
no,
is
not
it
at all.
a
Yeah.
smooth process? How's the insurance company kind of working with you?
Well, the insurance, my sister, because she's we're in a trust. She's an executive of our property, so she's handling most of the paperwork and dealing with the insurance. Because she's out there more than I am. Because
Hmm.
I currently reside in Rancho Cucamonga, but she deals with more of the paperwork side of our, the deals where, she'll call and let me know, after she speaks with them. It's going okay. I'm not saying it's going smooth, but, it's going okay as for now. I mean, as insurance company goes, it's not as fast as you want it to be.
Right.
It'd be vice versa. They want your payment right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they
No
did.
doubt. They
But
quick
they
to
take
take your
forever.
money, but real slow to give it out.
They still
Give
want
it
your
out to
payment
double
while
next
the
month.
while the insurance is
Right,
trying to pay
exactly.
you out.
That's
But yeah.
insane. They should stall that out for a little while.
Yeah, so yeah,
Wow,
so
with
that's,
that one.
but it's going okay. I mean, it's not
Okay.
nothing. What I say, it's not going as fast as we like it to go. I'll just say that. Yeah,
So
but
was there a lot of smoke damage too?
yeah, smoke interior damage. Yeah, smoke damage, and definitely in the drywall, and a lot of just a lot of gutting out. Probably gutting out they have to do, just clean it up basically, and just kind of start from interior remodeling again. So
Okay.
that's basically what's going on with the property right now. Yeah.
Cool. So tell us about what you do for work and how you might be able to share some insights with us about what to expect and moving forward.
Right. And I've been as I can, because I'm out in the field a lot and driving in location. I've been trying to listen to you guys' conversation, but I listen for like 5 or 10 minutes and I have to drop
We
because
appreciate it,
I
man.
on the air. But a lot of what I do is like the back end of what the process of what I've been listening to your show, as far as the I believe a lot of the developers have come on, and I believe Patrice, Larry's wife, Cushionberry, she was on,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
what
they're
right, what she does,
design builders.
design builders, right. What they do, they're what we call front end work. Basically, they're designing and doing the planning for for the either, and they're developers or they're doing single home residents. So uh, a lot of what they do, I don't have a lot of knowledge of what they do in that sense, but I do like that. Once the permits and planning gets approved, that's when I step in and starts going, inspecting per plan what's going on with the property, and I what I wanted to bring in and say is, even though they're kind of streamlining like the county, because we're all in county jurisdiction, and county, they're saying they're trying to go a little faster than
than normal.
per se, but to be honest with you guys, it's let's say we're building a new house, right? The planning process realistically takes about 3 to 4 months, and that's if because it goes to different departments. It goes to the building department, it goes to the fire department, and it goes to the planning department, and those are the 3 main departments that the plans needs to get approval for before it gets approved for the permits to be issued.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're saying. Brian, you might know because you've been to a lot of the meetings. What they're saying as far as the process of getting those plans approved in that sense, but because as far as I know, realistically, it takes about 3 months.
So, Charles, they're not. They're just saying we're streamlining. Things are being streamlined. They're not giving any time frames.
Oh, they're not giving no time frames? Okay.
No.
Well,
all right.
Because every time we ask them this question, they give us a parable about some other incident that happened up in Foxborough, or what's the such and such fires and all of that. So we can't compare 1,500 units to 6,600 units on cleanup and permit strategy.
Right.
I don't see it happening.
The one thing that I've heard consistently, and even our other co-host Tony has attested to, but when I've seen a lot on these meetings, because I try to get on those town halls and community meetings to see what they're saying, is they say, obviously, if you do a like for like, that's going to be the easiest way to get it done.
Okay.
And even if you don't do a like for like, whatever the normal process is, it's supposed to be shorter. They're never going to, I personally don't think they're ever really going to give you a specific or give us a specific time frame, because I don't think they realistically can abide by it, right? Because every home is going to be different, and we've been emphasizing this on a on a regular cadence almost every time we talk about this.
And that's
everybody's situation is unique. So somebody may be done in 2 months or even a month or whatever, some real remarkably short period of time, but that does not mean everybody will be. And I think there's going to be a log jam at some point, because right now, at least as of Monday, they had indicated that they had maybe about 100 people had put in for their permits for their plans, right, for their home. And at that time, they had not released or given permits to anybody, right? So I'm thinking at the beginning there'll be a few people that trickle in that get it approved and even apply for it. But at some point, once more and more of these people finish phase 2 and move to what we're calling phase 3, when they're actually starting to need to get the permits done, there's going to be a bottleneck, because there's going to be a huge number of people. Just thinking about Altadena alone, obviously that's what we're focusing on. It's over 6,000 residents, right? So maybe we get 10 or 15 or 100 or maybe 200, but at some point they're going to be getting hundreds a day.
Right.
So no matter how fast they're going to do it, I don't know if they're going to have the capacity, manpower, or what have you to handle it. Because I had also heard that the government officials are saying one thing, and then the people who are actually trying, that would have to have it work, they don't have the infrastructure to support it. So we're hoping as time goes on that they actually become very clear about what to expect. Meaning, like you said, it normally takes 3 months, but we're going to shoot for it to be shorter, but to tell everybody to be patient, because it's going to be a long process no matter what.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. To piggyback off what you said, the infrastructure, I think that's where the problem is, because they're going to either have to outsource or either hire within the county more people, but because they need more planners and more people looking at what was being submitted. So that's where the problem is going to be at. So it's like I said, I'm not quite sure what they're saying on their end as far as how long. But like I said, it takes, if everything's smooth for plans to go through and be approved, 3 months, 3 to 4
And that's
months.
on a regular basis
And
before
that's
the
on a
fire.
regular basis for any outside of a fire. Yeah. So, being that this is going to be a big influx of, plans and submitting,
Heck yeah.
and think about it, because when the plans get submitted, they get kicked back because they need revisions. Basically, what a revision is, basically, you have to change, what they didn't approve. So
Right.
the architect has to do all that. So that takes time too. So that's why I said I'm not sure on the realistic process of what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are.
But yeah, but I know that some developers and some of the architects, they have like what they call like pre-plans, like they have plans already drawn out of where you can follow pretty much, because I don't know if they want to, like you said, they want to build as is, or they have to build the same amount of square footage. Is that
Well,
what you're asking?
I think as is has been defined through a couple of our guests
Okay.
as same square footage and functionality. So if it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, I believe that it still has to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If it was originally 1,000 or 1,200 square foot, it would still have to be that square footage, but it could be designed slightly different,
It could be
right?
designed different, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and if it was a Tudor, maybe now you want a Spanish style, you could probably do that too, but it's primarily footprint and um, I forget what they call it, but functionality, I guess, lack of better
Okay.
frame, better.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so with that, I'm just saying that some architects and some of the designers, they have like pre-approved, not pre-approved plans, so they may show the customers where they can look at it, and that may be the faster process
Okay.
instead of just starting that starting from ground zero. That's the
Well, that
only thing I can think of. But other than that, as a you the owner have to go in there and speak with the architect. I want my
yeah.
house designed to look like this within the
Yep.
square footage, and that takes, once you talk to them, that takes a little time. So realistically, like I said, I'm not sure on the time
It's
period
no.
what they're giving you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem on that. I
yeah.
mean, we can't. We're not looking for you to give us that specific, info. No, we appreciate that though.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what's crazy is, as we all know, a lot of
Okay.
these homes up here have unpermitted extra rooms that they built
Absolutely.
on because you knew that you were never going to sell your house, right?
Right.
So now, how do those people deal with that again? Because, does that affect the Proposition 13 rating to keep them paying low income taxes? Because now when the tax assessor comes, because it was based on what the property looked like
Right.
1978.
Right. And they had no way of knowing if your garage was turning to a living
ADU or
thing like
whatever,
that,
right?
ADU or whatever. That I mean that's on the tax assessor pretty much, where they would have to come actually look and see.
Oh, they're coming.
Yeah,
When every house that gets bid now, they're going to look at it.
they're gonna
Oh,
look
yeah.
at
So
it. Yeah.
that
I'm pretty
extra room you had for the mother-in-law that was way off down the hall, well, that's going to have to cost money to be built now.
Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be built to what it's supposed to be. But
Mhm.
um once the plans get approved, that uh the builders and construction workers, construction developers, depending on who you go with, and it's a lot of good. I like to say it's a lot of we definitely, I would say we want our own
Sure.
to definitely promote our own business like that. But it's a lot of good construction workers out there,
Absolutely.
and I don't want I want everyone to don't feel apprehensive of going with someone because there's a lot of good people out there do a lot of good work. I think that's the best way I can say it.
Yeah. To
Well,
your
the thing
point.
is, you got to look at it like this:
Uh-huh.
6,600 homes, 9,000 total structures.
Right.
If one builder got 40 homes, did that put a dent in the other 6,620
Nope, not
need
at
to be
all.
built?
Yeah.
Not
So
at all.
if 100 builders got
Right.
20 homes. That still is only 2,000 homes.
That's exactly.
So it's not going to be like there's not going to be work, you
Right.
know.
It's going to be work. Yeah.
So,
And that's one of the things that we're trying to get across to folks. We want to present people, and due to our vetting process, we want to make sure that we have folks that can do everything that we believe is necessary. So we lean on Tony to do the vetting because she's actually rebuilding for her parents,
Okay.
and she's making sure that they have, or that they go with someone who check all the boxes, so to speak, right? They,
Okay.
they got the proper licensing, they got the proper insurance, the proper bonds. They don't have, major dings because they've done some wrong things in the past,
Right.
and ideally can do, everything from beginning to end. So that design builder. However, we have some other folks as well. But what we're trying to do is say, hey, look, this is the process that you're going to have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Here are some examples of some builders and the design builders or just builders that you can potentially work with. And based on what you've seen, on our show and hear about how the process goes, we want you to make an educated decision. Look at some other folks. Don't just take our word for it. Talk to the people we've shared if you're interested in them. Get more, have them those individual conversations with them, and see if it's a good fit, right?
Right.
And there may be other folks that we haven't even been exposed to yet that you're going to go through. And again, it's to that point Brian was bringing up. There's over 6,000 homes done.
That need to be
Every
built.
builder we talk to has acknowledged the fact that they're not going to be able to build all the homes, right?
Right.
Individually. So we absolutely have to have multiple builders participating in this rebuild process. So I think that's we agree with you, and that's the whole purpose on why we're trying to, do what we do. Now, I have a question.
Sure.
As we move through and get beyond, let's say somebody found the builder and they got their plans approved and they're moving forward. As an inspector, can you
Mm-hmm.
explain that basic process? Because as I understand it from my dealings in previous jobs in dealing with construction, it's kind of a step by step process in terms of certain parts get done. You have to verify if it's done correctly before you can move on to the next thing. Is that basically it? And
Right. Absolutely.
what's
Yeah.
the process? What's done first, all the way to the final certificate of occupancy?
Right. Yeah. Basically, it starts from depending on well, basically, you know, from the fires, it would be like start of a clean, from ground zero. So it would be grading. What we call grading is basically if it needs the property needs to be leveled, or or different levels of the raised depending on how the house was designed. So they'll grade the property to make sure it's graded so the builders can come in to build on that. So that's basically the first phase.
Is that pretty much making it level?
Making it level, pretty much. Yeah, that's
Pretty
it.
much.
That's it. Yeah, maybe depending on how sometimes it may be they may want a basement, so they may dig under. You know,
Okay.
it just depends on how the house is designed. But from that, the very first inspection is pretty much footings, what we call footings foundation, and that's just the design of how the house is, the cement, but it's what we call rebar. Rebar be placed all around, depending on how it's designed, and that pretty much is the most, to me, the most important, because your foundation, which we've grown up with, foundation is everything. So
mm,
the foundation is basically the most important. So it's a what we call a footings inspection. So we look at
Sure.
that first.
Is
So
there
it's
any difference in terms of when you look at them from a slab versus a raised foundation? I mean,
not
is one
necessarily. Not
okay?
necessarily. Raised, it's just more of a raised foundation. It's just it's more based on the how the house was originally built.
Okay.
Yeah, originally built, or if the architect wants it in that. It's based on the architect, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Slab foundation is just as good as a raised foundation as well.
Okay.
Okay. So once that process is done, then it goes into the framing aspect of it. Framing. which is consists of the walls, and what we call shear walls. Shear walls are we see like as they go through the building process, so a lot of plywood on the side of the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the more when you see a lot of plywood, or you see it all around the house. Those are the more enforced areas of the foundation that were built. So a lot of times you see them around garages and around windows. So basically, because that's where they put the beams that go through your
Gotcha.
house. So it's the framing that goes next, framing part, and then what we call MEPs, which is mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. That is the all the rough. You can see everything open, like
Mm-hmm.
the ducts for the mechanical. Mechanical is
Like HVAC.
HVAC and air conditioning and furnace. So you see all the ducts running through. Electrical, you see all the electrical wires.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the control. What we call control panel it's the panel. Electrical panel that is outside your house.
Yep.
The control panel, you see all the wires being wired to that. Plumbing, you see all the plumbing lines, making sure all the plumbing lines are connected, and we do a water field test to make sure they are pressurized so there's no leaks, to make sure everything's hooked up right. Basically, that's but doing that, they have different types of water lines. They have, I don't know if you guys seen the PEX lines. We
Yep.
call it PEX piping.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new thing right now. It's a hard plastic, best way I can describe it.
As
But
opposed to
yeah, and
copper.
it's kind of cheaper than copper, but a lot of people are still going with copper. So when
Mm-hmm.
people say it's just based on the constructor,
Okay.
the builder, basically, that's say if a builder's been doing it for like 20 years, they've been doing copper, they're not changing.
Gotcha.
They're gonna continue to do copper, yeah. Or where some people they may want PEX in their house, but it's just it's kind of based on what the customer wants to as well when it
Okay.
gets to that aspect. And then once it gets to that aspect, then they start doing the drywall from there, drywall covering, and then from there, probably won't see the house for a final till about probably a month and a half, because they putting all the appliances and fixtures in the house,
Right.
and then we'll come back and do the final inspection to make sure
Okay.
everything's working properly and hooked up. I know I kind of skimmed over a lot because it's a lot more detail in each inspection, but that's probably the basic process of the inspection, though.
Cool.
And it's just
I appreciate that.
yeah, and then I'm sorry, I kind of skipped the roof out. We do roof inspections as well. The roofing, making sure everything is nailed properly. They have the
Could you
proper
repeat
strap.
that? You cut out for a second.
Okay, to make sure all the nailing is nailed properly, and then we look for straps on top of the roof as well. But that's all in the plan. So like to go into when once I get on the site, I look at the plans. And I kind of just go off the plans.
So
So
you kind of look at the plan and
yeah,
see if it was done according to it, and then
for the
you can
plan,
check it off.
then I
Got you.
based on my knowledge, what I know within that's kind of how the inspection goes. So if
That's cool.
off, because we know we can tell them to correct it. We have to do a lot of corrections, and then they'll fix it up by the next inspection so they can move forward. So,
Okay.
that's
So
kind
I have a question. Given
of
the fact that obviously all this devastation is because of fires, and they're
right.
changing coding and all this kind of stuff and requirements to try to make sure that a lot of the homes use fire-resistant materials, and they're requiring potentially sprinklers and all this stuff in homes. Number one is, how do you guys as inspectors stay up to date with this information? How is it disseminated to you?
Yeah,
And then how does these new changes, how is this going to affect, your inspection process? Do you think it's going to make it any longer at all, or is it just maybe looking at something different as opposed to what you were doing before?
good question. Well, with because of the fires, and the county's a different jurisdiction, so I mean, but we all kind of follow the same building code, which we update our license every 3 years. So right now we're in the 2022. 2022 building code right now. Even though it's 2025, it's not the full year of 2025. So
Right.
towards the end of the year, they'll update the code. But right now, we're in building code 2022.
So
So
there are changes that are being made like right now for these homes that are being rebuilt. So are you guys made aware, obviously, of that information? But it doesn't
after,
necessarily.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Just okay.
because even though you have the code, Jamal, you can do what we call amendments, and each jurisdiction has amendments within that city or
Copy
county,
that.
and you would have to be brought up to date on that information. Yeah, they can do
Cool.
that. It's like, just like law, they're not changing the law, but just adding to the law, basically.
Got you.
So, yeah, so they're adding to the code. So whatever, and because it's fire, they have fire inspectors. So they're a little different than my position, but they're the ones that look at the fire sprinklers and making sure the proper because I get into a little bit of the fire inspector. The fire inspector, they basically they're inspecting things to prevent a fire. If that makes sense. So
Yeah, it does.
Right.
yeah, so like the sprinklers, for instance, depending on the location of the house, the requirement for sprinklers right now, I don't know if they're going to change it, but the requirement for to have fire sprinklers is if you're 150 square feet 150 feet away from the fire hydrant.
Okay.
So yeah, so say like a fire hydrant, like where fire hydrants generally along the street. Say if it's
Hmm.
150, or if the fire truck can't get or get to the where it's 150 feet from the hose or their equipment, that building that house needs fire sprinklers.
So if
So
you're further away than 150 feet from however far the hose goes
right,
for a fire
because
truck, then you
yeah,
need
it gives
sprinklers.
right because it gives them 2 to 3 minutes. Say the sprinklers come on automatically because the fire engine's coming, so it gives them
Yeah,
that time before they get there.
copy that.
That's their understanding of it. So um, I don't know what they said as far as of all homes needing sprinklers like that. I'm not
They've
sure on
been
that.
going back and forth.
Yeah, because I'm not
They've
sure on that.
said
Yeah,
at one point all new homes are going to have this, and they're considering these new builds. But then, there's a lot of people saying, "Hey, these are not new builds; these are rebuilds." So they're talking about maybe not being as strict, but they haven't finalized their decision on that, as far as I know. It's
right.
still kind of up in the air.
I believe they'll still stick with the 150 feet.
Hmm.
But I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of because that's like you mentioned earlier as far as the material. The fire resistant material the contractors use would
Hmm.
help more. I know fire sprinklers, depending on the location, like I said, of the house, uh, they would they would help the firefighters, but it's kind of hard for I don't know how easy that would be to change that at this time.
Okay,
That law, yeah, that's why they kind of delaying that because um, then that kind of goes into the code. The fire, they have a fire code as well, and then they would have to do a lot of changes in the fire code for that. So
got you.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on that, Jamal. Yeah,
Okay,
then that's kind of I definitely will keep you updated on that, but I'm not sure on that.
no problem, no problem.
Okay.
So part of the process, as you've indicated, let's say they do the foundation,
Right.
and before they can go to framing, they have to get the sign off from the inspector, from you, for example, to say, hey, look, the
Right.
foundation's right. You can move on and do the framing. What are some of the reasons that you may not sign off on it? Like, what are some of the basic things that may not be there, um, might not be in place that would cause you to, you know, not let it pass? Oh, we lost him. Do you still see him, or is it just my screen?
He just went blank.
Oh, okay.
Please stand by, Corey. We do see your question up here. We are going to pop it up here soon. As soon as he comes back, we're just trying to get through the meat and potatoes of it.
Yep.
So we are not ignoring you. We do see you. See, we popped you up there again. And you
Right
got
to
your
the point.
second question right there. So we know you're waiting patiently on the edge of your seat, letting you
Hey, and if
know
there's any
that
other questions, let us know.
he probably still thinks he's still talking.
You should text him.
No, I don't know. He'll come back. Maybe I
Okay.
should just give him the boot. Let me give him the boot.
All right.
Kick
And
from the studio.
And folks, just hopefully these are good questions. I think I had mentioned before in a previous life, I was um, I was involved in home construction lending, um, and a lot of these questions I'm asking, I kind of had to know and kind of understood basic process. It's been quite some time, little like 15 years since I've been involved, but the basics are still there. So I'm trying to think of the overall process and the kind of questions you guys might ask, so hopefully these are helpful.
Okay, I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
guys. I'm
No,
That's
sorry.
that's
all
cool.
right.
My
We knew
apologies.
you was coming back. We
Yeah,
had no
yeah.
doubts.
Okay. Yeah, to answer your questions, some of the reasons why we do write corrections for them is because of they're using like I'll say rebar. It may be the
Hmm.
wrong rebar. Say they may
Okay.
call for what we call number four. Number four is the size of the rebar. It's like three quarters
Hmm.
of an inch, but it's we'll say if the plans say use number four top and bottom. This is what I'm explaining before they pour the cement, and they
Hmm.
put like number three or number two,
Something smaller than.
something smaller, right? Then they'll get written
Trying to
off.
go cheap.
Yeah, try to be cheap about it, right? Absolutely. That either that or they're just not because a lot of contractors, to be honest, what they do is that because they build for so long, they're like, okay, this house needs this, and they just put what they think is supposed to go there. They're not reading the plans. So the good ones will read the plans and they'll know, and they'll let their workers know. Put this in. But it's some out there that just do because they just feel that they've been building so they don't need to. They just feel
They're
they just
trying,
they just feel
trying
they
to
just know,
save
and that's why
supply
that's
for
why
the next job.
right. So that's why they
So
get
it's
written.
really on the builder then, because if they follow
Yeah,
the plans, then it's spelled out right there. So
right.
okay, cool. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
really want to get a reputable builder.
right.
Make sure you do your homework. Make sure they didn't get dings and they got a lot of good reviews, and it makes sense that way. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because they just have to basically follow the plans. That's what I tell the contractors all the time. Just look at the plans. That's what I'm looking at. If it's not built or not done according to plans, I'm gonna write you up. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Right.
So yeah, so it's just a matter of just following the plans, and each property just in saying that each property is different. So there may be some issues where we as inspectors, it's always in the code a gray, what we call a gray area, where we can
Hmm.
make decisions following the code, but we can make decisions on that right on the spot right there too. So sometimes not saying all the time, but sometimes you do kind of run into problems like that.
Like Edward Broussard said, my Mr. Inspector Charles. So a lot of them cheat codes, a lot of them cheat code everything they can. Everything is printed on the plans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much it's right there. It tells you what to do, pretty much. So
that's
I mean,
definitely good to know.
and that's for a good builder. I mean, a good builder looks at it. Okay, this is what we gotta do, and they go according to plan. So
So Ed, based on that conversation, no,
So it's called
not that.
shortcuts, and it's great that you're able to identify those shortcuts so that they can lead to problems later on down the line. That's what
Great point,
absolutely,
Lavonda said.
Wanda. Heck
yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point. That's a very good point because you don't want, like I said, the most important and you know, I always check that with very good detail is the foundation part. From there, I mean, even though I do just as much as the others, but I always want to make sure the foundation is good before they go up and start building.
Well, it's just like the saying, for anything
Yeah,
you do, if you have a good foundation, pretty much everything else is going to be
right,
it's going to be beneficial. It's going to work right.
right,
And he
absolutely.
said they print on the plans down to the type of nails to be used.
Oh,
That's what
they do.
Ed said.
They do. They absolutely do. He's absolutely right. It tells you everything. It tells you everything to do. I mean, and it's you know, someone who can read plans and knows how to read plans well. I mean, they kind of, it's easy for them. So it shouldn't be it's not difficult either, because it tells you where to go. It tells you the details in case, you know, at this section of your house, I want in detail to be, I want more nailing right here, or you know, more, you know, more screws or something like that, for instance, like that. It tells you every detail, everything, every part of the building, what needs to be
Well,
done.
switching gears. So Corey asked this question when you first came on. We didn't get to put it on, but she said, "Me straight to the point. Is inspecting an apprenticeship type job?"
An apprenticeship type job.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like electric. Like in order to be a contractor for an electrician, you have to go through an apprenticeship. You kind of got to work your way up to that role.
Not necessarily, no. Um, it's by certificates. I have a building, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing certificate, so I do all phases of the inspections. They do have, like, if you live in LA City or some jurisdictions where that inspector just does like an electrical inspector. That's all he does is
Mm-hmm.
electrical inspections, or a plumbing inspector. They do. I know LA City. That's what they have. They have like different inspectors for each phase of the project.
Gotcha.
But like the county and other cities, most other cities, you know, like myself and other inspectors, we do all phases of the inspection. So
Right.
it's not necessarily. I mean, from I guess from her question, um, you can start as a electrician and, you know, progress to an inspector if you choose to, but it's all by certificate though. You necessarily you don't get into the inspection unless you have that certificate. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
So her follow-up question is, can you work as an independent contractor inspector?
Yes, you can.
Huh.
Yes, you can. I mean, but with that, because I work in the city of Monterey Park, I can't do my inspections or anything within the city of Monterey Park. Outside of Monterey Park, I can do other things.
Oh, you
That's
can't work
that's
independently there because you work
yeah,
for that city.
absolutely, yeah. That's it. Yeah,
But
you can't.
anywhere
Oh
else,
well, wait, welcome to Altadena, brother. We need that
Oh,
independent contractor
that's county.
inspector.
That's
well,
county.
that
Yeah,
that kind of leads to my next question, and it's kind of alluded to before. You know, six over 6,000 houses that are going to be going that need to be rebuilt, and at some point there's going to be a whole lot going on at the same time.
right.
How, from an inspector's point of view, how are they going to? How's that going to be staffed? Because
That yeah,
that's going to
great
be a
question.
challenge.
That's going to be very challenging, and I believe I said earlier, like they're gonna have to outsource. The county has to, because you guys, because we're in county jurisdiction. Excuse me. They have the they have an inspector for each, you know, part of the county. I don't know how many inspectors they have for Altadena. I
Hmm.
remember when I used to work for them. I know it was like 3 inspectors, but you know how big Altadena is. That's still too little.
Yeah.
So so
Right.
yeah. So it's just imagine, you know, like you said, for the rebuild, they're gonna need probably, I would say, a minimum of 10 inspectors, because it's just that those 3 inspectors aren't be able to, if they start building at the same time, they aren't going to be able to keep up. I would say
Right.
that it's totally impossible, because it, you know, as I explained earlier, excuse me, at each phase, depending on how fast the builder is, like somebody might be done with their you know, the footings part of it, and they may be on the framing part of it. So those are like 2 separate inspections, but imagine 3 inspectors going like just everywhere. He won't be able
Right.
to keep up. So, you know, and it's just, I say on a minimum I do 20 inspections a day, which is a lot. Uh, Imagine 6,000 homes. That's I'm just one inspector, so it's just that's it's gonna be double that, even triple that.
So
So so it's gonna be, they're gonna need to outsource, basically. They
yeah, it
can't.
seems like it,
Yeah,
because
they're
that
gonna
that
outsource.
definitely affects the actual build time, right?
Absolutely,
Because
because they
so a
got to
lot of
wait for
builders are
it.
saying we can build in, 3, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18, whatever time frame they give. we also have to factor in multiple things, right? Number one is resources, because there's going to be so many people rebuilding and trying to tap into the same resources for lumber and plumbing equipment and all that kind of stuff. Plus the inspection, right? And if there's not enough inspectors to go around, you got to wait for an inspector before you can go to the next step.
You're exactly right. I mean, because yeah, you can't move forward, and it kind of puts a delay on the project. Because realistically, the builders they can build a home in 3 to 4 months. They can. I've seen it done, and it's the crew they have, and and basically if the inspections are going like bam, 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 it can happen like that, But yeah, with the, like you said, the infrastructure and the people of the manpower the county has, uh, they definitely have to outsource or hire more to get this done, because it won't be progress. The progression won't be as fast as people think with those
Right.
amount of inspections that they have.
Well, then the next question then I was going to ask was, how long does it take for a typical inspection? And for you to be, obviously it depends on your experience, I'm
Right.
sure, in terms of what you're looking for. But if
Uh-huh.
you're doing 20 a day, it obviously doesn't sound like it's going to take quite that long, to do an inspection. And so about how long does it take typically? Or
Well,
does it matter what part of the construction you're in?
yeah. It normally, let's say like the footings, the from the start,
Hmm.
that should take, for if an inspector, an experienced inspector, if they're looking at the plans and going through the process, no more than 15 minutes at the process.
Oh, okay.
More than 15 minutes, 20 at the max. Um, and that's just basically because you're reading the plans, you're going over everything, and you're checking all the X, Y, and Z, and you're just making sure everything matches up what you see on the property.
So let
So,
me ask you this.
mhm.
After you see that and you say, hey, look, it's good to go, is it just at that point that the builder can continue, or does some paperwork have to go back to the county?
no,
Um,
no. Once we approve it, so like the footings, that's before they pour the concrete.
yeah,
Uh, all the footings and forms. Excuse me, let me say the whole thing. Footings and forms. They form, the
perimeter. Yeah.
outer perimeters of the house, and then they pour the concrete for that. Once that's done, then they can move into the frame. Yeah, once we approve it, they can move forward. There's nothing that needs to be submitted or paperwork or anything like that, because everything, which I believe every city should be, is digitized now. So
Okay,
once I get
cool.
back to the office after my inspections, I have to put everything in the system. So
So do they have to wait for you to put it in the system before they can move forward, or can they
no,
go
they can
right
move
then?
forward. No, they can move forward once
Cool.
we sign the job card, the permit
Cool.
card on site. Yeah,
I
they
think
can move
that's a good.
forward.
I'm sure folks were curious about that.
Yeah. So that yeah, that we only time we would hold up a project if something's wrong. It's a
Okay.
safety issue, or they did something they weren't supposed to, and we'll say, no, have this correction done at the next inspection, and then they can move forward from there. So, and depending on, is this is yeah. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you guys off site, but yeah, but it's
Okay.
things. I'll just say, in the cities and counties, if they get used to the inspector, and you see the same developers or builders all the time, you have a good rapport with them. There are things that I won't say you won't let go. Not that they're doing a bad job, but you'll say, okay, I need to see this when I come back to the next inspection.
Right. So
Yeah,
you let
so
them move on, but
you let them move on. Yeah, I need to see this. Yeah, so
got you.
yeah, okay, you know what I mean. So that's what
Yeah,
I mean.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're
yeah.
just trying to give folks an idea of
Oh
kind of
no,
what to
no, yeah,
expect.
The real nitty gritty.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, yeah. So and that's it, and it's you know I me. That's why I've been in so long. I enjoy my job, actually. I like what I do, and it's a I just definitely want to make sure everybody does it, right. I don't do no shortcuts or make sure, I make sure they do it per plan, or I tell them to one. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me go back. One thing that might happen or may delay, just say if the builder goes outside of what the plans and they do something, they'll put like a hallway, or they may add an extra room or something like that, which is okay, but it's still within the square footage. But they have to revise the plans because it's other inspectors that once the project is done that looks at the plans as well to make sure it was built per plan. So
it's like a follow-up.
They say, like, remember I told you the fire inspector comes out and checks the fire sprinklers or the smoke alarms to make sure those two, and they have a planning inspector as well. He goes out at final. So the planning inspector, what he does, he checks all the make sure everything's done per plan, and make sure they're more into the aesthetics, make sure the color or the roofing material is what the plans say, something like that. But so it's when people in the building process, I always let them know, just if you're going to do changes or anything like that, just do it ahead of time, so by the time the plans get revised, you'll be okay at the final.
Cool. You see, Edward Broussard says some will let us take pictures and send it to them if they have a simple fix. So
right.
You can,
so
that's pretty cool.
In the business, he know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
And Ed's a licensed plumber, you guys. So
okay,
if you need a plumber, that's Ed. He just helped me with my dishwasher the other day.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And so, man, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, it's a. I know we can't cover everything in one second.
Well, you can always come back.
Yeah, I always come back. Yeah, that's what I was gonna let you know, Brian. I always come back. I don't work on Fridays because the city's closed on Fridays. So
lucky you.
I come out. Yeah, I know. I was like, man.
So would you be over there hitting up the hat?
Over there, Monterey Park.
Yeah. Monterey Park, Alhambra, all of them got the little good spots down there. They be keeping it secret.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would come on. I mean, any more knowledge you may need, I love to give it. I mean, whatever you want to know, I'm here.
Well, you're gonna, as you watch the show, you're gonna see people come on, and you're gonna be like, that ain't right. I'm gonna have to come back on there and come. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And I'll definitely let y'all know.
No, they said the wrong thing. And I think your Nike swoosh is upside down.
I'm just curious, is there anything you think that we haven't covered that people should know or be aware of or look out for during this process? Just kind of to make sure that their builders on doing the right thing?
Well,
or the process is going well? Should people build rapport with their inspectors at all?
Yeah, I just think my thing is just being communication, because a lot of times over the years I've seen people are not, they're not talking to their contractors. I'll say as an homeowner, don't be afraid, because you're paying them. So don't be afraid to talk to them, because they know more than you may know. Still talk to them. That's my advice. That's my best advice, because even though you may not know, they'll build or do something you may not like. You don't want, you be like, then that becomes a problem later on.
And hopefully you won't have to worry too much about that, because you'll have the plans in advance. But that's definitely good to know, because I know, I'm sure some folks would be a little hesitant just because, hey, look, I don't know nothing about building. You're the professional. Maybe I don't want to say anything, but absolutely say something. Just like Charles said, you're paying them.
Yeah, because you're paying. I always tell owners that you're paying them. Tell them you don't want that. I mean, if you don't want that in your house, because I can't advise as an inspector, because we can't influence one side or the other. But we can tell them. I always let them know, say you're paying them. So if you don't want that in your house, tell them you don't want that. So, and I'm speaking on other inspections, like replacing water heaters or a the what's that, electrical panel plumbing, like what Ed does. When they do a lot of repipe stuff like that. The owners and the contractors kind of, if they don't like it, I said talk to them. Don't be scared to talk to them. Talk to them if you don't like it.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so because you're the one buying, so you get what you want.
There you go. In fact, Ed has a question. He's asking, are they requiring backflows on the fire sprinklers in Altadena?
I know that we have backflow systems in the Monterey Park. I mean, every time they put fire sprinklers. So I'm not sure in the county, because the county's a little different. I'm not sure what they may have started off with, but I know that most jurisdictions do require backflow systems. And from what I've seen, even going back to I can't remember in the county. That's one thing. I'm sorry, but from what I've known from the past, I've seen a lot of backflow.
So here's a question though, because you used to work in the county, do you have anyone that you could recommend that maybe we can ask or have on to ask some questions specific to the county that might know more, up-to-date stuff?
I used to, a lot of the inspectors who I was friends with, they retired because they're a lot older than I was. Cause when I came in, I was a little younger, but they I came through my father. My father worked for the county for 45 years, so that's basically why I got hooked up with the county. But and they known him, so right. I know a lot of people. The Arcadia office covers our area in Altadena.
Mm-hmm.
That's just they cover our area. Only I may know the supervisors there, but other than that, I don't know who the inspectors are. To be honest.
No problem. Yeah. We'll do our research. We'll find somebody too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the information you're bringing is invaluable, bro.
Okay.
One of the questions was, how many draws do you think someone could expect in a typical construction? And just for those who want to know what a draw is, that's those different stages that we're talking about. So you do the foundation. Once it's approved, then the contractor can actually get paid. And as the next phase gets done and approved, then the contractor can actually get paid. And those are the different draws. But do you have a typical number of draws that happen for a build?
You know what, Jamal, because that's contractual. I wouldn't know anything. I don't say I don't know anything, but that wouldn't like fall under how we approve.
Gotcha.
Because if me as a homeowner, I say I'm gonna pay you half now, and I'll pay you when the framing part gets done. That's all contractual. So that side I'm not sure. To be honest with you, and I don't know. That wouldn't have anything to do with as far as inspecting. Because once we pass inspections, it doesn't have anything to do as far as financial wise.
Okay. And then LaWanda Scott agrees with you. She says being an advocate for your property is very important, no matter plans or not. Contractors, or should I say some contractors, take it upon themselves to do what they want, and later the customer suffers. So she agrees that staying in tune with your contractor is vital. Yeah,
it is. It's just with that, Jamal. It's just it keeps you guys on the same page, and it's just you don't have to. Because I'm at some point during the project, the owner is not going to be there all the time, or he trusts the contractor, but it just keeps you guys always on the same page, and you don't have to have no disagreement with the as far as I'm speaking on the other side. I'm not talking about inspections as far as payments and
right,
and getting them their money, things like that, or where the owner said, I'm not paying you because you didn't do this and that. All that stuff comes up, and it can get.
It don't have nothing to do with you.
Had nothing to do with me, passing something. But yeah, that comes up because, and I always tell the owner, I say, you got to talk to the contractor because that has nothing to do with me.
That makes sense. And coming from my background, it was mainly dealing with a mortgage company providing the finances for the construction.
Right.
And usually, again, it depended on the builder as well, but the mortgage company was only going to release X dollar amount based on the line items, right? So the
Right.
foundation was a line item. Let's say I'm just throwing a number out, 10,000.
Right.
The contractor's not going to get paid that 10 grand until it's approved by the inspector. Once approved, the mortgage company is going to release that money to then go to the contractor for them, all right, now the next phase. But
Right.
I'm glad you clarified that, because you do not have anything to do with that.
No,
So it's
not at
between
all.
the contractor and the homeowner.
The homeowner, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like Ed had asked that question about the sprinklers, because he said in San Marino they made him take it out and just use a strainer.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, now ask Ed, is he talking about backflow preventers on the hose bibs or the actual fire sprinkler system? That's
I'm gonna put y'all. Well, he heard
that's,
your questions. Maybe he'll clarify.
Yeah, get back to him. I could do. I'll get in touch with you guys. I got your number too, Jamal. I'll find out his number. Ed, you have his number, and he can call me after that. Yeah, I can let him know personally.
All right. So Tony chimes in and gives some insight into the draws. He says all the builders / contractors she's been speaking with say they're usually 3 draws, a third to begin, then another third in the next phase, and then the final third for the final phase to finish. That's good.
No, that's good.
That's good to know. I mean, that's not a lot. So
absolutely.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Edward said the sprinkler, fire sprinkler, but again, I think,
that might be jurisdiction. Just Ed, and be honest with you, I know in ours we don't. In Monterey Park, no. It might be that. That's where we earlier when I said you can add amendments to the code within your jurisdiction, even though we all go by the same code. Some cities, like I'll use San Marino. San Marino might, because of the high-end houses, they may want gates or something like throughout all their properties. Something crazy like that. That's kind of amendments, they can add to it. But they're not changing the code. They're just adding something for their city. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm sorry. But other than that, that's it. Can you hear me?
No, that's cool. No, it's funny. He just dialed me by mistake, I think.
Okay.
But so Corey says, right, Jamal, that's why you have to have builders that can float their own builds and not solely count on the banks to give giving money to contractor. Super point.
Yep.
It's another reason why we really want to vet the builders that we share with you guys, or the contractors, anybody that we're dealing with, because that's what they have to do. They have to float the project until they actually get paid. And if they don't have enough money, then you could potentially run into some problems, especially if they're not paying their subs. And that's one of the bigger problems, with folks that can't float it. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. Like I said earlier, we want you guys to get as much information as possible so you can make educated decisions about your rebuild. This is one of the biggest projects you're ever going to have in your life. Number one was acquiring the home, right? But since we've never had to deal with this kind of devastation, rebuilding this house is going to be probably the biggest project that you've had to experience, especially for those, which are most, who've never built a home from scratch. So do your homework. Find somebody that's really going to do what you need, the way that you want it, in a timely manner. They have a reputation for doing the right things. And if it happens to be one of the ones that we've shared with you, that's fantastic. But there's going to be tons others that are out there. Because again, even the ones we've shared, they're not going to be able to do every single project out there, right? So, that's awesome. Let me see. Corey says, thanks. That makes sense. But some of these contractors do not have money to even get started. That's not going to work. Yeah, that's right, Corey. That's to the point I just made. They may not be the right contractor for you, or they may need to be a sub for someone else, depending upon what they're doing, if they can't float it. That's why you got to do your homework. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is really a big deal. This is a whole neighborhood has to be rebuilt. I know it's going to be one home at a time, and a lot of you only have your home to work on, but hopefully through the efforts of our Altadenians for Altadena, project where we actually have people to volunteer to help with the building. Maybe once yours is done, you offer your assistance to help build others to help the process go faster, or you do so, before yours gets done and what have you. So we're all trying to work together and make this work as a unit as best we can,
Right.
and help this go as fast as possible. Anything you want to add or what have you? Because I know you've been a wealth of information for us, and we definitely appreciate it. Got a ton of questions for it.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on, and definitely everything you said is so true. I believe. Only thing I would like to say, just definitely go with someone who has who's very reputable, have all their licenses, and pretty much can start up for you. And a lot of and I'll get this to you later, Jamal. I know a lot of contractors, and they do architectural. They start from beginning, and they'll help you all the way through the end. And they're good, and they're good people. So, and they'll, and you as a homeowner would have to work with them as far as financing and home insurance and all that other stuff. But their work is very reputable. So, it's
the more you can share, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just I'll give you the information and share it with you guys. It's a lot of people throughout Altadena. Do I know it's people I work because I work in the city of Mining Park. Some of the coworkers, they have parents, and they live out there as well, and they have their own thing. It's kind of interesting that they're doing community outlooks in their community.
Okay.
over by the Eden Canyon area. But I just suggest everyone to definitely go. Don't be afraid to go with somebody reputable. I'll just say that. Yeah, and then what your insurance? Yeah, what your insurance can cover, and basically just get started. I mean, don't be apprehensive about it. Let's go at it, because it's going to have to get done.
Yeah, powerful words, man. We definitely take it to heart, and we appreciate your time and those words. Okay. Hopefully you do hop on again when you have some time, especially if we can maybe give some updates on how things are going, and maybe you can give your insight.
Sure. Let me know. For sure. I will. For sure.
Cool, man.
Man.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a weekend. I'm going to pop you off the show. It's up to you if you want to stick around for a little while. I don't think we're going to go a lot longer. But if you want to talk a little later and you're not in the green room, then I'll just call you.
Okay. All right, Jamal. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. I think B is coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, he's about to come back real quick before you go.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, brother, for coming on the show.
All right, B.
We always appreciate all the insight that you guys in the professional area of this particular situation can give. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. You're doing a great job. Y'all both are. I appreciate this. This is a wealth of knowledge as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You take it easy.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Well, that was a great show. It was a really good show today. And we appreciate all the comments, because the reason why we do this show is so that Altadena can talk to each other.
Stuck.
And, sometimes we have technical difficulties, like my light is dying right now. But we'll get through it. There we go. I'm going to plug up some little juice to it. See if that'll work. That's not working. It's going in and out. But yeah, we appreciate you guys coming on. And let's go over to our Instagrammers. We see Roz Taz, Mosan, Original Underground Media, I Am DeVille, Alive and Living LLC, B Burn Live, and Craig Gray Mark joined for the first hour. And
keep forgetting about that.
But
Instagram stops going live after an hour.
Yeah, so we're going to have to start keeping shows, I guess, under an hour, but it's hard to do it when there's a wealth of information. So just to let you guys know, Facebook and Instagram are changing their policies where they are not allowing us to go longer than an hour. We have to start it over on Instagram. And these podcasts on Facebook will not be around for after 30 days.
Yep.
So we encourage you to follow us on our YouTube channel because those will never go anywhere. And I'm going to pop up. Nope, not that one. I'm going to pop up the YouTube channel so that you guys can always go to YouTube and find the broadcast. So
yeah, youtube.com/@Altadena Talks.
Yep, and we'll pop it up right there. There
It's
it
kind
is.
of funny how you have to put the @ now. You didn't have that before.
Because now it's like Instagram, you actually have a way to find them quicker.
Oh, I like it. It just I didn't know you had to do that until maybe a month ago.
In fact, I know this doesn't copy into the chat. I mean, not the chat, but the chat on Facebook. So I'm going to go paste that there now as well. And that way everyone will have it. And you won't have to worry about trying to find it. Oh, there goes the light. It came back. Look at that. So I'm trying to get to the comments. Stupid notifications.
Corey says, thank you, Charles. We appreciate you taking the time to come out and share your knowledge and info. Hopefully he hears that. Thank you, Corey, for your questions and everybody who had questions. I think this was pretty informative. Again, we're just trying to get you ready for the next stage, right? This is kind of what to expect. It was informative for me too. I learned a lot.
Yeah, popped it up there again, so it's in the chat now. So if you guys need to find it, that's where it is. So yeah, moving forward, if you want to look at any of the old shows, that's what's going to happen because Facebook is changing the policy. So you can always do the hashtag Altadena Talks on the Google search, and it will then go to the videos. It's going to show you all the videos from YouTube anyway. It doesn't show the Facebook ones anyway. So we appreciate everyone coming on. We hope you enjoy our new format, and we're going to end the show with the same way we came in. So we're going to say toodles to everyone.
You guys have a great weekend. See you Monday.
Have fun, and we will be talking to you next week.
Peace.